Hello folks, Fat Guy Flies RC here. Back to continuing on with the build with the Focke-Wulf Dynam 190. We're going to put the wing on, the glue, the 5-minute epoxy that I let sit for 20 minutes. Has more than set up and you're not going to get it apart. Now, they're going to tell you to take your Y's, your supplied Y's, and you're going to put a Y on your gear and a Y on your ailerons. And they're very nice because they have already labeled A. So there's your aileron. So you're going to take your Y. And this is another build tip for all videos, for all planes. Light to light, dark to dark. That's how you know you've got it correctly hooked up. If you've got the light hooked to the light side and the dark hooked to the dark side, then you are in good shape. Light to light, dark to dark. And that way you know for a fact that fits in there nice and tight. Do not feel like I need to put tape on there. That feels really, really good. Now let's test those. Just not because we have to, just because it's fun. I'm going to take up our thing. And look at my ailerons, working just fine, just like they should. Okay? Now, because of the stand, I probably won't do the... Alright, we got the landing gear. I'm going to take our Y. Okay? And this time, I've got a yellow and black, or yellow and brown Y. And then my lead for my gear is white and black. Same principle though, light to light, in this case yellow to white, and brown to black, dark to dark, light to light. It's always going to be the same principle, light to light, dark to dark. I say it again, light to light, dark to dark. Okay, and those fit in nice and tight. Let's test our landing gear. Okay, light to light, dark to dark. Oh, look at that. Landing gear works. Okay. Now, also in this are your two leads for the lights on either end. Okay? Provided in the kit is a light controller. Little Y thing with a controller on it. Makes them flash. That's included in the kit. Okay, and it's right here. This is not an exception to the rule, but you've got less wires. Okay, you've only got the two light and dark. All right, you're going to end up with 3 lights, one in the belly, one on each side. So you got an extra one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and there again, red and brown, light to dark. So in this case, take the red one here, and the brown one, hit the red to red, and the black or brown to brown, red to red. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. We actually got a bigger light controller than we need, but you can always add lights if you want to. Alright, and that's hooked up to there. This only needs power. So, light to light, dark to dark. And it should. Yep, I got lights. And they're flashing. Okay, cool. So, there are my lights, gear, everything's hooked up. Everything's nice and dangly. So now, take the fuselage. Okay. Get the wing lined up correctly. As you can see, I've got plenty of room. But it actually doesn't go into this big surface here. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. It's going to go through this hole here. You say, well, why not put it through that great big? Well, that's going to be blocked off with the wing. So, fish all that through that hole there. It's obvious, you can't get it wrong. Only goes one space. fish all that through. If you need to, reach up in there, and anything's loose, pull it on down. Okay? Alright, that should all fall down in there. Key is tongue and groove in the front here. So tongue and groove right on in there. Make sure you don't have any wires pinched. Okay. Get my head in the way. Good, they're all nice down in there. And look at that nice snug fit. Now, got your nice big, oh, by the way, I glued that little nut in there off camera. I'd forgotten to do that earlier. Go ahead, that's a nice big Phillips screw. And when you start seeing your foam compress just a touch, go down a little bit tight and then back off half a turn. So that's in there. Boy, that sucker's in there. Now you're going to take these little 1/2-inch screws. Make sure you use a magnetic screwdriver, and just so that you won't lose your screws, man. You don't want to lose your screws. Need to adjust that. So, and you got 2 more screw points here that you're going to put these shorter screws in. And just another little peace of mind. Nice little touch there. Get up underneath there. Okay. It's already tongue and grooved right on in there. Alright. You know what? That might actually take them longer screws. I might be wrong. Let's try a longer screw. Let's see, because that one didn't quite feel like it was going all the way in. So, got plenty of screws. Here, it does. It takes the longer screw. Yep, it takes that longer screw. Boy, I was wrong about that. It does. It takes that longer screw. And that's fine because you got plenty of them. See? Use the magnets to your favor. Alright. And just like the other screws in the tail, you'll go all the way in. And you'll feel it hit bottom. Yep, right there. You want to go in there, hit bottom, back off half a turn. Alright, because that foam will expand. Alright, that wing, by golly, that wing's on there. That wing is on there. So all intents and purposes, the model, not finished obviously, but it's assembled. Okay, this is going to run off 4-cell power. Okay, got plenty of room for your receiver, plenty of room for your battery. Okay, this is going to go in here just like that. Wait a minute. Yeah, just like that. You got magnets on the front and the back. Okay, this is going to go in there like that. You're going to glue your pilot on. Put your pilot in there. Okay, and then you got your prop and your spinner and your prop be right there. So pretty much done. You got your prop adapter. It's got 3 screws, which I believe are probably a 2 millimeter hex drive. Yeah, they are 2 millimeter hex drive. Screw that in there. Your prop. Put your prop on. Make sure it's balanced. Put your decals on. Put your receiver in. She's ready to go. But basically, Other than getting her dressed up with her decals and putting the radio in her, she's pretty much ready to go. And so we'll stop right here. I'll do the finishing touches and we'll come back and look again. Alright folks, Fat Guy Flies RC, I have finished the build and got her bound up and programmed for the Dynam Focke-Wulf 190. Now, a couple of things in the build is these guns here are just barely glued on the top. I had to glue them back on. The canopy went in, no problem. They give you some glue for that. One thing I suggest doing is taking a Dremel or something and put you a little air hole like I have here, because when you take it out and you're on a sunny day, if that can't breathe, well, then all that foam there is going to gator on you really bad. So if you got an air hole there, it's not a problem. Stickers, hardest time I had was putting the eagle stickers on. Everything else is pretty straightforward. You just pick yourself some panel lines where it looks like it's on this picture and run it down the line. I did put a piece of the magnets that hold the cowl on, pretty weak. It comes off pretty easy, and of course when you're flying it's not going to come off because of pressure, but it comes off pretty easy. So put a couple of drops of glue, just real little, so I can easily cut off, and on down the block, and on the bottom on the top, and then I put a little piece of tape on the bottom on the top. Just there's a throttles off. And just to make sure that cowling doesn't move. Of course, you've got the sticker that hold it on there too, but it's not going to come off now. I installed a Lemon RX with stability, not the Stability Plus where you have self-righting, but a gyro. Now I've got, if you look at those elevators or those ailerons, a lot of correction. I mean, it's got a lot of things, so I'm going to dial that down to where they're not quite so reactive. Just the gains are set too high. And if you have that, if you have a gyro and your gains are too high, when you fly, you'll just kind of oscillate like that. So you don't want that. You just want a little bit of correction. You don't want a whole lot of correction. And so that's one thing I'll do. Spinner went on with no problem at all. The rest of the build was no problem. And really, seriously, it was real simple. Just a matter of just feeding the wings through, putting the screws in, bolting the wing on. You know, I put blender and tape on the elevator and the rudder. I'll probably end up doing it on the ailerons. One thing you're going to want to do is make sure you take your screwdriver and you've got your screws that hold the whole servo in for your gear. Make sure those are tight, and then the 4 little screws that are actually on the servo itself are tightened. All of mine were a little bit loose, so I had to tighten all 8 screws on each side. I tightened those up. Make sure that your linkages here are nice and tight. Like I said, you put the long screws in here. The gear folds down nice and works just fine. I'm going to change my switch. These tubes, the long guns go out, the shorter guns go in. Just they give you the glue to slide in. It has a stopping point. Only stickers on the underside are the iron crosses there. I guess, I don't know, are they called iron crosses? That's the only thing I know to call them. Lights are hooked up, so you got your green, your belly light that just flashes, and your red, all the lights just flash. Let's turn these lights off for just a little bit. Just a little bit, make it a little bit darker in here so you can see. There's the belly light, your red flasher there, and your green flasher there. Really love the subtle camo that's on here. Now, as I do with all my models, I'm going to put a nice clear coat on this, and that'll really make the colors pop out nice. Real quick, just for fun, make sure everything's out of the way. Take a look at that spinner. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, isn't that cool? Okay, got my prop. Well, there you go. But isn't that neat? All right. Well, there we go. Let me go over here and make sure my throttle cut is set. Yeah, see my throttle cut. See, if I do my throttle cut all off, and it needs to be at a negative 130%, not a negative 100%. So, do that. That way it cuts off completely. All right, well there you go, folks. That is the Dynam Focke-Wulf 190. Nothing else really sticks out in the build. You saw the majority of the build. I just did the finishing touches. You might want to put yourself a piece. Now there's two pieces of cowling that kind of stick out. The props off. I haven't put my voice commands in yet, but might want to put yourself a little piece of tape here so that you don't have to keep grabbing the model, getting your finger oil all over it. Nice thing about the model is it's kind of nose heavy there. When you can stand it up, but you can see where I've put my. There's my HRB 3600. I put my Lemon RX right there. Put my antennas at 9 degrees. 9 degrees. That gives you the best deflection. And if you're going to use a receiver, preferably a receiver that has the end pin going back and makes everything tuck away nice and easy. And they all go back and everything's nice and neat. CG on this plane, according to the book, is about 75 to 70 millimeters back from the very lead. Not here, but right here. So that's going to put it on this first panel line. So right about there. So I've got my, let's just see how that CG does. Okay, with that, where I've got that battery, and I can feel that first panel line there. And let's just see. Hey, that's just about perfect right there. I'm on that panel line, and it's just slightly nose heavy, which is what I want. So, got a big old honking 3600 4-cell, fits right in there. The end of the battery, just barely inside the firewall there, but you got about an inch and a half you could slide forward. So if I had a smaller battery, I could go a little further forward. That's probably about as big as I'm going to want to put in there. It calls for a 2200 4-cell. This is a 3600, so, but it shows you that it'll fit. So that's as far back as I would go with a big battery. Anything smaller is going to go forward. Rule of thumb about CG: if you're nose heavy, if you're too nose heavy, move your battery back if you can. If you're too tail heavy, move your battery forward until you're happy. Excuse me, folks. Well, anyways, there you go. That is the build of the Focke-Wulf, Dynam Focke-Wulf 190. And I don't wish I had my wallet with you, because I could introduce my wallet as my special guest, as my only supporter. That's my sponsor, Mr. Wallet. So, just to let you know. So, when you hit like and subscribe, you're helping me. Alright, folks, there you go. That is the Focke-Wulf 190. Be bringing you a maiden very soon. Probably in the morning, because it's the middle of the night right now, and I'm a night owl. But there you go. Thank you so much for watching. This is Fat Guy Flies RC. God bless y'all. Merry Christmas. This is December, I guess, 23rd or 24th now. Christmas Eve, 2020. We're getting through this year, folks. Oh, boy. Folks, it's been a wonderful year. There's been some problems, but you know what? The nice thing about some of this, having to stay home, and people, you're getting to realize what's more important, your loved ones, the people in your life. You know, that's when you pull together. All right? Folks, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all. Bye-bye. Turn this off, man.